On a quiet Tuesday morning, the world changed forever. The sun rose as usual over Earth's cities and forests, but something was different. Every screen on the planet, from smartphones to giant billboards, suddenly went dark. Then, in a flash, they all lit up with the same message. Attention, humans of Earth. This is the Galactic Empire. You must leave your planet immediately. This is not a request. It is an order. People everywhere stopped what they were doing. In New York, cars screeched to a halt in the middle of busy streets. In Tokyo, trains full of confused passengers sat motionless on their tracks. In a small village in Africa, a group of children stared at an old TV that hadn't worked in years, now showing the strange message. The voice speaking was deep and echoed strangely, as if it came from the bottom of a well. It didn't sound human at all. "We have watched your species for many years," the voice continued. "You are not ready to join the greater galactic community. Your ways are too violent, too unpredictable. We cannot risk letting you spread beyond your world." Around the globe, world leaders scrambled to respond. The U.S. president was woken from a deep sleep. The Chinese government called an emergency meeting. The United Nations building in New York became a hive of activity as diplomats from every country rushed to discuss this unprecedented event. But the voice from the stars wasn't finished. "You have exactly 1 Earth year to evacuate your planet. We have provided coordinates for a suitable new world where you may restart your civilization. Any humans remaining on Earth after this deadline will face consequences." With that final word, screens everywhere went dark again. For a moment, the whole world seemed to hold its breath. Then chaos erupted. In major cities, people poured into the streets. Some cried out in fear, while others shouted angrily at the sky. Many simply stood in shocked silence, trying to process what they had just heard. News channels switched to 24-hour coverage of the event. Experts from every field were called in to give their opinions. Was this real? Was it some kind of global hoax? If it was real, how could humanity possibly evacuate an entire planet in just 1 year? As the hours passed, more details emerged. The message had been broadcast in every language on Earth, perfectly translated for each region. It had even appeared in Braille for the blind. Whoever, or whatever, had sent this warning clearly had incredible technology at their disposal. Scientists around the world reported strange readings from their instruments. Something massive was in orbit around Earth, hidden from view but detectable by the most sensitive equipment. The source of the message, perhaps. In the following days, governments tried to maintain order. But it wasn't easy. Some people started panic buying food and supplies. Others quit their jobs, saying there was no point in working if the world was ending. Religious leaders offered comfort to their followers, while doomsday cults gained thousands of new members overnight. A week after the message, the first visual contact came. A massive ship, easily the size of a small moon, appeared in Earth's orbit. It was visible to the naked eye, a dark shape blotting out the stars. Telescope images showed it was made of a strange, shimmering material that seemed to bend light around it. The sight of the alien vessel made everything real. This wasn't a hoax or a mistake. An advanced alien civilization really had ordered humanity to leave its home. As the days turned into weeks, Earth's leaders struggled to come up with a plan. How could they evacuate billions of people? Where would everyone go? And most importantly, should they obey this order at all? Some argued for compliance, saying humanity couldn't hope to fight such an advanced enemy. Others called for resistance, unwilling to give up their home without a fight. As debates raged on, one thing became clear: nothing would ever be the same again. Humanity stood at a crossroads, facing the greatest challenge in its history. The clock was ticking, and Earth's future hung in the balance. As weeks passed after the Galactic Empire's warning, Earth found itself in a state of chaos and confusion. The initial shock had worn off, but now people faced a difficult choice. Should they leave their home planet or stay and face unknown consequences? In every country, heated debates took place. Families argued over dinner tables. Friends stopped talking to each other because of disagreements. The whole world seemed split into two groups: those who wanted to leave and those who wanted to stay. World leaders met at an emergency United Nations summit in Geneva. For once, old enemies sat side by side, united by a common threat. The meeting room buzzed with nervous energy as presidents, prime ministers, and kings tried to decide humanity's fate. "We must obey the Empire's order," said the President of the United States. "We've seen their power. We can't risk angering them." But others disagreed. The Chinese leader stood up, his face stern. "Earth is our home," he declared. "We cannot abandon it because of threats from aliens we know nothing about." As the debate raged on, scientists worked day and night to understand the situation better. They studied the massive alien ship orbiting Earth, trying to learn about its technology. But the ship's strange material blocked all attempts to scan its interior. Meanwhile, regular people had to make their own choices. In a small town in Brazil, Maria looked at her children and wondered if she should sign up for the evacuation program. "Maybe it's safer to leave," she thought. "But where would we go? What kind of life would we have on a strange new world?" Thousands of miles away in Japan, Hiroshi, a young computer programmer, made a different choice. He joined a group called Earth's Defenders, who believed humanity should stand its ground. "This is our planet," Hiroshi told his worried parents. "We can't just give it up without a fight." As the months went by, the first evacuation ships were built. They were huge vessels, designed to carry thousands of people to the new world the Galactic Empire had mentioned. But there was a problem. Even with these massive ships, it would be impossible to move all of Earth's billions of people in just 1 year. This realization led to tough decisions. Who would go first? Who would have to stay behind? Governments started creating lists, trying to choose who would get a spot on the evacuation ships. This caused even more arguments and protests. Some rich people tried to buy their way onto the ships, offering huge amounts of money for a ticket. This made many poor people angry. They felt it wasn't fair that only the wealthy could escape. In response to all this, a new movement started. Called One Earth, it brought together people from all over the world who believed humanity should stay united, whether they left Earth or not. Sarah, a teacher from Canada, became one of One Earth's leaders. "If we leave together," she said in a speech that was watched by millions online. "If we stay together. We can't let this crisis tear us apart." As the deadline set by the Galactic Empire grew closer, Earth was a planet divided. Governments prepared for evacuation, building more ships and setting up training programs to teach people how to live on a new world. But at the same time, they also prepared for the possibility of staying, strengthening militaries, and looking for ways to defend against alien technology. Regular people had to make hard choices too. John, a farmer in Australia, decided to stay. "This land has been in my family for generations," he said, looking out over his fields. "I can't leave it." But his neighbor, Emma, chose differently. She signed up for the evacuation program, hoping for a fresh start on a new world. "I'm scared," she admitted, "but sometimes you have to take a risk for a better future." As Earth's last year ticked away, no one knew what the future would bring. Would humanity find a new home among the stars? Or would they stand against the Galactic Empire and fight for their right to stay on Earth? The only thing certain was that whatever happened, life would never be the same again. As the world grappled with the Galactic Empire's ultimatum, a small group of individuals decided they couldn't accept either option presented to them. They wouldn't leave Earth, but they also wouldn't just wait for the Empire's consequences. In secret, they began to form a resistance. Dr. Emily Chen, a brilliant physicist from MIT, was the first to call for action. She sent encrypted messages to trusted colleagues around the world, urging them to meet. "We can't just give up," she wrote. "There must be another way." On a rainy night in Geneva, Emily met with 4 others in an old, abandoned warehouse. There was Juan, a computer hacker from Brazil; Aisha, a former military strategist from Egypt; Victor, a Russian engineer; and Zoe, an Australian biologist. They came from different backgrounds, but they shared one goal: to find a way to resist the Galactic Empire. "We're seriously outnumbered and outgunned," Aisha pointed out, her face grim. "How can we possibly stand against an alien civilization?" Emily smiled, her eyes glinting with determination. "With science," she said, "and with the one thing they might not expect: human ingenuity." Over the next few weeks, the group worked tirelessly. They converted the warehouse into a secret lab, filling it with computers and strange-looking machines. They worked day and night, fueled by coffee and the desire to save their home. Victor focused on reverse engineering alien technology, based on what little they could observe from the Empire's ship. Juan set up a secure communication network, allowing them to recruit other brilliant minds without being detected. Zoe studied the biological impact of alien tech on Earth's ecosystem, looking for potential weaknesses. As their group grew, so did their plans. They called themselves the Earthlight Initiative, a beacon of hope in dark times. One day, Aisha burst into the lab, her eyes wide with excitement. "I think I've found something," she said, spreading out a map on the table. "Look at these patterns in the Empire's ship movements. There's a rhythm to it, almost like a heartbeat," Emily finished, leaning in close. "It's not just a ship. It's alive." This discovery changed everything. If the Empire's technology was partly biological, it might have vulnerabilities they could exploit. As the resistance grew stronger, they faced new challenges. Government agencies, desperate to avoid angering the Empire, started hunting for any signs of organized resistance. The Earthlight Initiative had to become even more secretive. They set up hideouts around the world, connected by Juan's secure network. In an underwater base off the coast of Japan, Victor worked on a device to disrupt the Empire's communications. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, Zoe cultivated strange new plants that could potentially counteract alien biology. But their biggest project was hidden in plain sight. In the middle of the Sahara Desert, disguised as a solar farm, Emily and a team of engineers were building humanity's secret weapon. They called it Project Dawn, and if it worked, it might just give Earth a fighting chance. As months passed, tension grew. The Empire's deadline was getting closer, and the official evacuation was in full swing. Massive ships lifted off daily, carrying thousands of scared but hopeful humans to their new home among the stars. The Resistance watched these launches with mixed feelings. They were happy that some humans would be safe, but they couldn't shake the feeling that running away wasn't the answer. One night, as Emily worked late in the Geneva lab, she heard a noise. Footsteps. Someone was coming. She quickly hid her work and prepared to face an intruder. But when the door opened, she was surprised to see a familiar face. It was Dr. James Wong, her old professor from MIT. He looked tired and worried. "Emily," he said, "I know what you're doing, and I want to help." Emily hesitated. Could she trust him? But as she looked into his eyes, she saw the same determination she felt. She nodded and began to explain their plans. As dawn broke over Geneva, the Earthlight Initiative had grown by one more member. And with each new addition, humanity's chances grew a little brighter. The resistance was small, and their task was enormous. But they were humanity's best hope. As the Empire's deadline drew near, they worked harder than ever, racing against time to find a way to save their home. Earth's fate hung in the balance, and the stage was set for an epic confrontation. The Galactic Empire thought they knew everything about humanity, but they were about to learn that humans don't give up easily, especially when fighting for their home. The day humanity had feared finally arrived. 1 year after their ultimatum, the Galactic Empire's patience ran out. As the sun rose over Earth's major cities, the sky filled with alien ships. The invasion had begun. In New York, Massive triangular vessels hovered over skyscrapers, their shadows turning day into night. In Beijing, strange, spherical crafts descended from the clouds, emitting an eerie blue glow. Over the plains of Africa, snake-like ships slithered through the air, their metallic scales gleaming in the sunlight. People everywhere watched in terror as the alien armada filled the skies. Those who had chosen to stay on Earth now faced the consequences of their decision. The first attack came without warning. In London, a beam of intense green light shot from an Imperial ship, reducing Big Ben to dust in seconds. Similar beams struck landmarks around the world: the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Taj Mahal in India, the Great Wall of China. It seemed the empire wanted to erase human history itself. World leaders, caught off guard despite a year of preparation, scrambled to respond. Military bases around the globe launched fighter jets and missiles, but they were woefully outmatched. The Empire's ships had energy shields that easily deflected Earth's most powerful weapons. In Washington, D.C., the president addressed the nation from an underground bunker. "My fellow Americans," she said, her voice shaking slightly, "we are under attack. But we will not surrender. We will fight for our home." Similar messages echoed around the world as humanity prepared for the fight of its life. The Earthlight Initiative, the secret resistance group, sprang into action. Dr. Emily Chen and her team activated their hidden network of bases and allies. "This is not a drill," Emily's message read. "Operation Dawn is now active. May luck be with us all." In cities and towns everywhere, chaos reigned. Some people fled to the countryside, hoping to escape the alien onslaught. Others barricaded themselves in their homes, praying for safety. And some brave souls took to the streets, determined to resist the invaders however they could. The Empire's ground troops soon followed their ships. They were not what anyone expected. Instead of little green men, they were towering mechanical beings, each standing 3 meters tall. Their bodies seemed to be made of a liquid metal that constantly shifted and reformed. These alien soldiers marched through the streets, their footsteps shaking the ground. They used strange weapons that didn't fire bullets, but instead shot beams of energy that could stun or disintegrate their targets. Human militaries fought back fiercely. In the streets of Tokyo, Japanese self-defense forces battled the alien walkers with tanks and rocket launchers. In the skies over Moscow, Russian fighter pilots engaged in dogfights with nimble alien craft. And in the waters of the Mediterranean, a combined NATO fleet desperately tried to hold off an Imperial assault. But despite their bravery, Earth's defenders were being pushed back. The Empire's technology was simply too advanced. Cities fell one by one as the aliens methodically conquered the planet. Yet, all was not lost. The Earthlight Initiative had anticipated this day. As the Empire focused on major population centers, the Resistance activated Project Dawn. Deep in the Sahara, Emily and her team powered up their secret weapon. It was a massive device, built from a combination of human ingenuity and reverse-engineered alien tech. Its purpose: to disrupt the Empire's communication and control systems. As the device hummed to life, its effects were felt worldwide. Suddenly, Imperial ships began to falter. Some lost power and fell from the sky. Others flew erratically, crashing into each other. The mechanical ground troops froze in place, their liquid metal bodies solidifying. For a moment, hope surged through the human resistance. They had landed a significant blow against the seemingly invincible Empire. But the aliens were quick to adapt. Within hours, they had recalibrated their systems. The invasion resumed, albeit at a slower pace. The Empire was now wary, realizing that humanity was not as helpless as they had assumed. As night fell on the first day of the invasion, Earth was battered but not beaten. The Galactic Empire had expected an easy victory. Instead, they found themselves in a real war. In hidden bases around the world, the Earthlight Initiative prepared for their next move. The invasion had only just begun, and humanity's greatest test still lay ahead. The fate of Earth hung in the balance, and every human knew that the coming days would determine the future of their species. As the Galactic Empire's invasion raged on, the Earthlight Initiative worked tirelessly to uncover any advantage they could find. Dr. Emily Chen and her team had retreated to their secret underground base in the Rocky Mountains, constantly analyzing data from the ongoing conflict. One quiet night, as Emily pored over ancient geological surveys, she noticed something odd. There was a pattern in Earth's magnetic field that didn't make sense. It was as if something massive was hidden deep within the planet's core. "Guys, come look at this," she called out to her team. Juan, the computer expert, and Zoe, the biologist, rushed over. They stared at the screens, their faces illuminated by the eerie glow of the data. "It's not natural," Juan muttered, his fingers flying over the keyboard as he ran more analyses. "Whatever this is, it's artificial. And old. Very, very old." Zoe's eyes widened. "Are you saying there's some kind of ancient technology inside Earth?" Emily nodded slowly. "That's exactly what I'm saying. And I think this might be why the Empire wants us gone so badly." The team worked through the night, piecing together clues from various scientific disciplines. They discovered that this hidden object had been influencing Earth's development for millions of years, possibly even playing a role in the evolution of humanity itself. As dawn broke, they had a theory. Earth was home to an immensely powerful artifact left behind by an even more advanced civilization than the Galactic Empire. This artifact had been shaping Earth's destiny from the shadows, and now the Empire wanted it for themselves. The Earthlight Initiative knew they had to act fast. If they could access this artifact before the Empire, it might give them the edge they needed to save their planet. Emily sent out a coded message to resistance cells worldwide. "Operation Pandora is go. The box is real, and we need to open it." Teams of scientists and explorers began secret expeditions to key locations around the globe. In the Mariana Trench, deep-sea submarines searched for hidden entrances. In Antarctica, specialized drilling equipment bored through miles of ice. And in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, researchers deciphered ancient glyphs that hinted at the artifact's true nature. But the Empire wasn't idle. As if sensing that humanity was onto something, they intensified their attacks. Major cities around the world fell under alien control. Resistance fighters were forced to go deeper underground, communicating through old-fashioned methods like radio and even carrier pigeons to avoid detection. In occupied zones, brave civilians formed secret networks, passing information to the resistance and sabotaging Imperial operations whenever possible. Children would scrawl secret symbols on walls, guiding resistance members to safe houses. Grandmothers would knit coded messages into scarves, smuggling vital intelligence past alien checkpoints. As weeks turned into months, the race to uncover Earth's hidden secret became more desperate. The Empire's grip on the planet tightened, but humanity's resolve only grew stronger. Finally, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. In a small village in Tibet, a young monk named Tenzin had a vision. He drew an intricate mandala that, when overlaid with Emily's geological data, pointed to a specific location in the Himalayas. The Earthlight Initiative mobilized immediately. A small team, led by Emily herself, set out for the snow-capped mountains. They trekked through treacherous passes and braved icy winds, always on the lookout for Imperial patrols. After days of grueling travel, they found it, a hidden cave, its entrance obscured by an ancient hologram. Inside, they discovered a chamber that defied all known laws of physics. It was bigger on the inside than should have been possible, filled with technology so advanced it seemed like magic. At the center stood a pulsing orb of energy, floating in midair. As Emily approached it, the orb reacted, projecting a holographic message. An alien figure, unlike anything they had ever seen, spoke. "Greetings, children of Earth. If you are seeing this, you have proven yourselves worthy. This is the heart of Gaia, the seed from which your world grew. It holds power beyond your imagination. But beware, in the wrong hands, it could bring about the end of everything. The team stood in awe, realizing they had just uncovered not just Earth's secret, but perhaps the key to the entire galaxy's fate. But as the ancient message faded, a new sound filled the air, the ominous hum of approaching Imperial ships. The race to save Earth had entered its final, most dangerous phase. The Earthlight Initiative had found their secret weapon, but could they learn to use it before the Empire took it away? The fate of humanity now rested on what they did next. The Himalayan sky darkened as Imperial ships descended upon the hidden cave. Dr. Emily Chen and her team stood at the entrance, the newly discovered heart of Gaia pulsing behind them. They knew this was humanity's last chance. "We can't let them have it," Emily said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. "Whatever happens, the heart must not fall into Empire hands." As if responding to her words, the Orcs' glow intensified. Suddenly, each team member felt a surge of energy coursing through their bodies. They looked at each other in amazement, realizing the artifact was somehow connecting with them. Outside, the first wave of Imperial troops landed. Their metallic bodies gleamed in the mountain sun as they marched towards the cave. The Earth team braced themselves for what seemed like certain doom. But then, something extraordinary happened. As the aliens approached, the ground beneath their feet began to shift. Rocks and soil moved of their own accord, forming barriers and traps. The mountain itself was fighting back. Emily understood in a flash. "The heart," she gasped. "It's not just an energy source, it's Earth's consciousness." With this realization, the team's strategy changed. Instead of trying to fight the Empire directly, they focused on connecting deeper with the heart of Gaia. As they did, its power flowed through them and into the planet. All across the world, nature began to rebel against the invaders. In New York, vines burst through the pavement, entangling alien walkers. In the oceans, massive waves capsized Imperial ships. In the skies, storms appeared out of nowhere, buffeting alien craft. The Empire, caught off guard by this planetary-scale resistance, faltered for the first time since the invasion began. Their carefully planned conquest was being undone by forces they couldn't understand or control. Back in the Himalayas, Emily and her team weren't just observers to this global counterattack. Through their connection with the heart, they could sense everything happening on Earth. They became conduits, guiding the planet's defense. Juan, the hacker, found he could interface directly with Imperial technology, shutting down entire squads of alien troops with a thought. Zoe, the biologist, communicated with plants and animals, coordinating attacks on Imperial positions. And Emily herself seemed to have gained control over the elements, summoning lightning strikes against the largest enemy ships. As news of the turning tide spread, humanity's spirit soared. Resistance cells emerged from hiding, emboldened by the planet's awakening. In cities around the world, people took to the streets, no longer afraid of the once invincible invaders. The Galactic Empire, for the first time in its long history, faced defeat. Their supreme commander, a being of pure energy named Zor Khan, arrived in Earth's orbit to oversee the battle personally. From his massive flagship, he watched in disbelief as his forces were driven back by a power he had gravely underestimated. In a last, desperate move, Zor Khan ordered the use of the Empire's ultimate weapon, a device capable of splitting a planet's core. As the doomsday machine powered up, Emily sensed the danger through her connection with the heart. "Everyone," she called out to the global resistance through their psychic link, "we need to unite. The Empire is trying to destroy Earth itself. Focus your energy on the heart." All around the world, humans and nature joined forces. People everywhere, whether they were soldiers, civilians, or even those who had chosen evacuation, felt the call. They focused their thoughts on protecting their home. The heart of Gaia pulsed brighter than ever, its glow visible from space. Just as the Empire fired its planet killer, a shield of pure energy enveloped Earth. The destructive beam hit the shield and rebounded, streaking back into space and striking Zorkon's flagship. The enormous ship exploded in a blinding flash, taking the Empire's leadership with it. Across the planet, the remaining Imperial forces fell into disarray. Without central command, their defeat was swift. As the last alien ship fled Earth's atmosphere, a cheer went up around the world. Against all odds, humanity had prevailed. They had not only saved their planet, but discovered a connection to it they never knew existed. Emily and her team emerged from the cave, tired but triumphant. As they looked out over the Himalayan vista, they knew that this was not just a victory, but a new beginning. Earth and humanity had awakened to their true potential, and the galaxy would never be the same again. In the months following Earth's miraculous victory over the Galactic Empire, the planet buzzed with activity and hope. The connection humanity had formed with the heart of Gaia didn't fade away. Instead, it grew stronger, reshaping society in ways no one could have imagined. Cities around the world were rebuilt, not just with bricks and steel, but with living materials that grew and adapted. Trees and plants became part of the urban landscape, cleaning the air and providing food. The damage from the invasion was slowly erased, replaced by a harmonious blend of technology and nature. Dr. Emily Chen, now hailed as a global hero, led the efforts to understand and use the heart's power responsibly. From a new research center built into the Himalayan mountains, she and her team worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of Earth's newfound consciousness. We're not just citizens of Earth anymore, Emily explained in a worldwide broadcast. We're part of Earth, and with that comes great responsibility. As humanity's understanding of the heart grew, so did their technological capabilities. Within a year, they had developed faster than light travel, using principles derived from their connection with the planet. The first Earth ship to leave the solar system was named Gaia's Hope, a symbol of the new era. But Earth's awakening hadn't gone unnoticed in the wider galaxy. The fall of the Galactic Empire had created a power vacuum, and various alien civilizations were scrambling to fill it. Some viewed Earth with fear, others with curiosity, and a few with open hostility. The first diplomatic contact came from the Cerulean Confederation, a peaceful alliance of planets from a nearby star cluster. Their ambassadors arrived in ships that looked like giant, translucent jellyfish floating through space. They were fascinated by humanity's connection with their planet, something unheard of in their experience. Your species has achieved something remarkable, the Cerulean High Counselor told the United Earth government. We would be honored to learn from you and to share our knowledge in return. This exchange marked the beginning of Earth's integration into the galactic community. But not all encounters were as friendly. The warlike Hrathkar Empire saw Earth as a threat to be eliminated. Their attack fleet was twice the size of the one that had nearly conquered Earth a year earlier. But this time, humanity was ready. As the Hrathkar ships entered the solar system, they found themselves opposed not just by advanced Earth vessels, but by the very fabric of space itself. Guided by the heart of Gaia, humans could now manipulate gravity and energy in ways that seemed like magic to outside observers. The battle was short and decisive. The Hrathkar fleet was disabled without a single shot fired, their ships gently pushed back to the edge of the solar system by waves of gravitational force. This display of power, coupled with Earth's mercy in sparing the defeated attackers, sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Gradually, a new galactic order began to emerge. Earth, once considered a backwater planet, became a central player in interstellar politics. The United Earth government transformed into the Terran Alliance, welcoming other species who sought to learn the secrets of planetary consciousness. Not everyone was happy with these changes. Some humans feared that their rapid advancement would lead them to become like the empire they had overthrown. Others worried about the influence of alien cultures on Earth's traditions. To address these concerns, Emily and her team developed the Gaia Protocols, a set of principles to guide humanity's use of their new powers. We must never forget where we came from, Emily said at the protocol signing ceremony. Our strength comes from our connection to Earth and to each other. As long as we remember that, we'll never become the monsters we once fought. As years passed, the new galactic civilization flourished. Earth became known as a place of learning and growth, where beings from across the universe came to study the unique bond between a species and its homeworld. The heart of Gaia pulsed steadily, a reminder of the incredible journey that had brought humanity to this point. And yet, as Earth looked to the stars and its newfound place in the galaxy, a question lingered in the back of many minds. Was this truly the end of their journey, or just the beginning of an even greater adventure?